Hello everyone, and thank you for checking out this video. This is the zombie list that I took to the recent Pumpking of Games tournament that was held by Format Library. So this is the final build. As you can see, it's got zombies because they were having a bonus prize for the highest ranking zombie duelist, so I was like, hey, why not play zombies? I started testing this a few weeks ago and I was surprised by the results. Honestly, I thought this deck was going to be, not that good. I have experimental screenshots that you can see. This is what we started with. This was our first build. We were running creature swaps and pyramid turtle. This build was taken from Adam Korn's, I think it was top 4 list from January 2010. So this is where it came from. This is where the Diva came from. This is where the Caius came from. We added stuff that we were forced to replace because of the ban list. This is what we started out with, and we began testing, and the deck was alright. We made a few modifications. In our second build, we went to 3 Book of Life, we went down a creature swap, we added a few more traps, and then we also added burial. And then the following build, we kept on changing a few cards with the extra deck, a few cards with the side deck. We eventually ended up removing creature swap. It was one of those cards that, like, yeah, if you draw it, it's alright, but if you don't draw it, it's not like you really need it, as opposed to cards like Dark Armed or Burial Return. Like, if you don't draw them, the difference in power level is very significant. So after a few more changes, we ended up where we are now, which is the current build that I took to the tournament. I'll go over the basic deck strategy. You wanna get out your Goblin Zombie as fast as you can, and then you wanna synchro with it a bunch of times, because the synchros with Goblin Zombies are free, because you get the card back. And the quality of cards is really the important part here. Goblin Zombie can get you Mizuki, which Brianna can dump immediately. Zombie Master, which can let you make another synchro play if you have access to Plague Spreader, and then they can all come back from the graveyard, and then you play Burial, you play Return, you do it again. Some of other cards are extenders, such as Book of Life. It's not only a way of making more plays, maybe like you're holding a Diva, you need the non-tuner, so you play Book of Life, you get it, and then you go off. It's also a way of controlling the graveyard, which is something that basically no deck in Edison Format can do game 1, except for Gladiator Beasts. But Book of Life lets you do that, so if you face a matchup that's very reliant on the graveyard, it's nice to have a built-in Diddy Crow with your Monster Reborn. The Deep Sea Diva, just like the rest of the deck, is not my idea really. Adam Korn did this already, and I think he was onto something. The other alternative you have over Diva would be Krebons, like 2 Krebons, 1 teleport. But there is something that Diva does that Krebons cannot do. If you start your turn with a Goblin Zombie in play, and you play Diva, you can go into double level 6 synchro and still be up a card. Because you make your Brionac, you get out your Mizuki, you discard it for Brionac, remove a Mizuki, bring back Goblin, and you make another level 6 synchro. Maybe you get Plague Spreader, which can let you go into Stardust if you really want to. Even the possibility of going into a level 8 synchro, just off of 1 card, is something that Krebons can't do. Yeah, it's cool that you get Teleport, which is a free tuner, but the chances of you drawing the Teleport are lower than the chance of you drawing either of these Divas. Sometimes you have Goblin Zombie, but you don't have a tuner. So what can you do with it? You just tribute your Goblin Zombie for Caius, and Caius is a problem solver. Scores, Dracodia, Pyramid Turtle, and Mystic Tomato. All these cards cannot be negated by oppression, and they'll let you generate tribute fodder for Caius to then kill the oppression, and then you can extend with Book of Life or Mizuki. Now onto the side deck. So you can see we have some cards for beatdown decks, the Cyber Dragons and the Prism. Staples side deck card of all of Edison Format, the Diddy Crow, strong against so many decks. Zombie Ward is against Monarchs. Dust Tornado is here to counter those pesky floodgates, public enemy number 1 being Royal Oppression. Pulling the Rug is against Monarchs. Starlight Road, which can be sided against Lightsworns and Blackwings or even Gladiators. The final card in this side deck is Thunder King. Before putting Thunder King here, I had 2 Light Imprisoning Mirror in this slot. And maybe I should have kept them in, because the Lightsworn deck I faced, I really struggled against. I wanted to put Thunder King just so I could have a better matchup against dragons, but against dragons I'm already running Zombie Word. Maybe this choice was wrong and I should have stuck with Light Imprisoning Mirror. Extra deck has nothing unusual. Your Armor Master for Gale. You have a Dark-End Dragon, which is legal for some reason, even though the dual terminal 1 cards are not, because they were hard to get. But Dark-End was apparently easy enough to get, so it's legal. So yeah, there's no reason not to play. If you're running a Caius, just put Dark-End in your deck. Then we have the 2 level 6 that you can only make with Plague Spider and a Zombie. And that's it. So before we get into the games, let's answer a simple question. Did I get lucky? Well, yes. As you'll see in the replays, I was drawing Return from a Different Dimension, Burial from a Different Dimension, Dark Arm Dragon, Trap Dash Shoot, a lot. I would not recommend this deck if you're a beginner of Edison Format, because it requires you to know what you're going to search with your floaters so that you're better prepared for next turn.